Hi, so right now we are gonna make ginger syrup with the goal of making ginger beer. Here, when I say ginger beer, I'm not talking about a fermented beverage, I'm referring to a carbonated, spicy ginger soda. And this is important because a ginger beer is not a ginger ale. A ginger ale is a sweet soda, it's always quite sweet, flavored with ginger. Here I'm going to really extract the spiciest ginger possible and turn it into a carbonated fizzy drink. And this of course is the main ingredient for a Moscow Mule. Here I have beautiful old ginger. I specify old ginger because there is as well young ginger. On young ginger the skin is not as thick, it is a bit more white, usually with a bit of pink or purple extremities. And young ginger is bitter, it's not spicy. Old ginger is spicy. This is because the spicy flavor of ginger develops over time, or it can be induced with low heat. And this is exactly what we're gonna do today to activate that ginger. We're not gonna boil it, we are not gonna overdo the heat, because if you overheat it, you actually break down the molecules responsible for the spiciness. Here, we just wanna bring it out. So we want low heat. So we're just gonna chop up the ginger as small as possible. We're gonna pour a boiling hot simple syrup made with golden sugar on top of it. And we're just gonna let the two together sit for a little while so it extracts as much flavor as possible and as much spiciness as possible. I just measure about 700 grams of ginger. So we're gonna match it to 700 ml of a 1:1 golden sugar syrup. So I'm gonna wait here 350 grams of golden sugar. Beautiful. And I'm gonna match it. I'm gonna add water to 700 ml. Add the water to the line. Give it a stir. Let some of those air bubbles be released from inside the sugar. And we're good. Get our sugar inside a little pan. It's okay if it hasn't melted completely. Just pour it back over. Make sure you get the last drop of it. And this, we're gonna bring it on the stove to a boil. Alright, our sugar is on a full boil. Without waiting any further, dump it on the ginger. Make sure the ginger is well submerged. And we're gonna let it cool for 20 minutes. Alright, so our ginger has cooled down enough, and now I'm gonna blend it. The goal is to extract even more of the ginger spiciness. And a little piece of advice here, for those who never experienced it, never put something very hot in a blender. This is below 50 degrees, it's gonna be perfectly fine. But if you're trying to blend something that is just off a boil, you're gonna be repainting the ceiling. Watch out. So we're gonna start at low speed. And we're just gonna get faster and faster. Next step is filtration. Here, this is probably the most useful tool you can have as a bartender. Filtering is 90% of the job, like having that clear, clean liquid that you can enjoy drinking without having any bits and pieces. I love those one because they are reinforced fine mesh strainer, very, very fine grain, and this allows me to put pressure on it to extract everything out. So we're just gonna pour our ginger syrup mixture into it. And then we're gonna work it until nothing comes out. And just out of curiosity here, I want to see what's the dry leftover ginger. Of the 700 gram of ginger I started with, I have only 155 gram left of dry ginger. Not a whole lot. That's pretty good. Of course, I'm gonna say that, put it in my compost. So we had 155 gram of dry solid that we filtered out. And here we are clocking right on 1200 ml, 1.2 liter. We're gonna have a little bit more loss because there is a lot of fine particle into the ginger syrup that I'm gonna let sediment, and I'm just gonna rack it off a bit later. Yesterday I made the ginger syrup and I left it in the fridge to sediment. There is those very thin particles that are close to impossible to filter. So the best way to go for removing them is just to let them sediment overnight and then to filter it the next day. Smells spicy, it's gorgeous. So we're gonna use a cheesecloth to make sure there is no particle, nothing left in our ginger syrup. Before using a cheesecloth, pro tip, always wet them. This will make sure you don't have a huge loss of yield simply because the fabric is gonna absorb it and you don't have any off flavor coming from it either. Alright, so here I'm gonna simply go ahead and filter my ginger syrup. And as you can see, at the bottom, you have all that white sediment. Now it's time to carbonate our ginger beer. Carbonation is dependent on three factors: pressure, temperature, and headspace. Make sure you have the three of them right. Pressure is going to be supplied by that ISI cartridge. It's 8 grams of CO2 compressed at 80 psi. Then we're going to use ice water to make sure we are as close to 0 degrees Celsius as possible in our ginger beer. Lastly, this is meant for 1 liter. The actual capacity of the containers is higher than that. But remember, you need headspace. So do not overfill it. Just make sure you put 1 liter exactly. So I'm just gonna add my ice water right here to the 1 liter mark. Always a happy chopstick stir. And then we're gonna fill our soda siphon. Hopla. Alright, then we're going to finish assembling the siphon. First, there is a tube. Make sure to push it all the way at the bottom. Here, same, that part can be removed. Make sure it goes all the way down and it's well in place. We're going to continue with the beak. Little details as well. Some people mistake creamer with a soda siphon. Very easy to know the difference. A soda siphon has a beak that looks downward. A creamer has a beak that looks upward. So you cannot mistake them for one another. Lastly, we're gonna put our CO2 cartridge, load it this way, come right here. Make sure you are nice and straight and carbonate it. Don't hesitate to shake it. It allows that exchange between the gas phase and the liquid phase. So shaking is actually a good way to force carbonate. Alright, now I'm not going to use it immediately. Right now the pressure is a bit overkill. I'm looking to reach an equilibrium. So this is going to sit in my fridge until I actually need to use it. Alright guys, so this sat in my fridge for a little while. Little pro tip, you always have to degauge the first burst. If you try to top up a drink and it's a new siphon that you just loaded up, the pressure is just gonna blow your drink out. So make sure before you use it to degauge it nicely. And here we go. Our ginger beer. It does start a little bit for me. Ginger has quite a bit of protein, hence the foam. But look at that. Look at that gorgeous ginger beer. The sweetness is low. The spiciness is high. That was my recipe for a homemade ginger beer. It's spicy, it goes great in Moscow Mules, and if you're not feeling like drinking booze that day, you can always make great mocktail with it. Ice, a little bit of lime, and it is one of the best mocktail I ever had. See you soon guys. Bye bye. 再见. Au revoir.